Hi,
How are
Chris.
you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Nicole.
Oh,
Oh,
Henry, you got my name next to you. So
I know.
I forwarded him
That
the link.
happened.
we got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So where are the committee members?
Mm,
They'll be coming.
yeah,
Graham said he couldn't.
I saw that email, yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Chip. You had three. So I just woke up from a nap. I got my second jab this morning, and after lunch, I just sort of, yeah.
Really?
I got mine yesterday and I did the same thing just
Oh.
now.
I hear a lot of people are doing that. I got mine through work and I got the one and done shot, so
Okay.
yeah. And I was fine, actually. I was surprised.
I had my
Which one,
first,
Henry? Moderna or Pfizer?
Moderna.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the tougher one.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's
have
the one that's-
much worse reports. So if this is all it is, it's But if I'm not my usual, snappy self,
that's the one that's killing rats left and right, isn't
Good thing he's not a rat.
it?
Yeah, they raced through those tox studies pretty fast. Let's hope.
yeah. So this was in New Haven, and the first one was at the community health center across from the police department on Meadow Street. I had never heard of Meadow Street, but I found it. And then today I got there and there was a very irate woman walking in my direction. They moved it. And we had to go over to the regional career high school or something on Legion Avenue. But
Oh, yeah.
who should be walking out when I'm walking in is the mayor of New Haven.
Oh, Mayor Elliker.
Hard to miss. He's tall.
Yeah.
I went to the casino and then proceeded to get a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts.
That makes your shot feel better.
Exactly.
Just in case.
Exactly. Just next time I'm going to get 2 dozen.
This is why we need to get back to in-person meetings soon. Can't share donuts.
Before
The
Nicole's
donut?
second shot.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Now, I see Billy's cat is visiting you, Kristen.
Yeah, no, it looks like his cat. That would be my cat, yes.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yes.
I was just thinking that,
She-
Henry.
yeah, she wants to be present.
Hello, Laura.
Oh,
Hello.
We're always glad to see you, but especially now that you constitute a quorum.
I wasn't sure there for a minute.
We want to wait one more minute for Woody.
He was having trouble, like me,
Oh, no.
and Billy too.
Well, let's wait a couple minutes. I have a feeling we may get through this in record time.
Well, Billy said he hasn't gotten the link, and Woody said the same thing.
Oh, they
Oh.
didn't? Because they all went out at the same time.
I know.
Do they know that it went out on Friday?
I don't know. I'm just reading their
Yeah.
emails.
Woody
They may,
might not
they
have,
may be looking for one this afternoon.
500 emails ago.
yeah, Woody might not have reception down in the boiler room there at the library. You never know.
Is that where he spends all his time now?
I think that's where he's living.
That's not the smell in the bathroom, is it, Laura?
Oh, gosh. If only. If only.
Couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting of the newly reconstituted, I guess, Buildings and Grounds Committee, and we were looking at different things, talking about lots of stuff and the White House, etc. And then Laura said, "Well, who wants to go investigate the smell in the children's bathroom?" I said, "Where's my? Oh no!" I'm
That's when
looking-
everyone left the meeting.
Is that my beeper going off?
We think our other friends have a link by now. Resend to them.
I can check if they emailed me, then I can just re-forward it.
Yeah, would you just check and
Yeah, let me
give it
just
another go around?
minimize all this and see.
Billy didn't get it.
All right, I will resend him and Woody right now.
Okay, great.
That'll help. Thank you.
All right, let me just
Billy's
see.
here. Hello, Billy.
Oh, is he there?
Yep.
And from
I
Woody
think
White.
Woody just sent a message, didn't he?
Yes.
He said, "Can you elevate me?"
Must have come in as a guest.
Oh, yes. He did. All right.
Great.
All right, good. Everybody's here.
Okay. Hi, Woody.
Hello, Henry.
Hi, guys.
So, okay, we now have everyone who's coming, so I'll open the meeting at 5:39 p.m. Call it to order. And I don't think we have any public comment. Is that correct, Kristen?
Yes, we have no public.
Okay. I see earlier today you circulated 2 sets of minutes.
Yes, because you guys still had to do the February
Right.
22nd minutes along with the March 22nd minutes.
Yeah, I personally didn't get a chance to look it over, but that wouldn't stop us if other people did. Do we want to boot this down the road again and get to those between now and the next meeting? 'Cause I haven't read them.
I wasn't at the 22nd of March, but I read the other one and it's fine. So I don't know what you want to do. It's good to get these done if we can.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they seemed okay.
I read them. I thought that February ones were fine. I just have a slight change on the March 22nd one. And in the other reports where it says Laura mentioned a blasting issue that was taking place, it's a half a block, not half a mile away.
Oh,
from the
okay.
library. But
Well, if George, Mark, or I could glance at them, we could say
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you.
why
if
don't
you
we do it
want,
at the
you guys
end of
push-
the meeting?
it at the end of the meeting, and then you.
Yeah, I
can-
was gonna say you could push them down to the end of the meeting. That's perfectly fine.
That works. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that. Then that moves us on to item 4, invoices, and there were no invoices.
No, but next meeting, I do want us to, and this is mostly for Ron, I do want us to catch up with Enterprises invoices. We have been holding back because of a lot of the work that was still outstanding, and they've caught up with much of it. So I think it's worth taking a look and you know, catching up at least one, if not two of the invoices. Because we do need to get that and the AIA change orders approved so that they can be processed. And because we do have the sidewalk work coming up and I want to be current before we do that.
Fair warning. So I think we're ready for that. Everyone takes care of the homework. So then that moves us to item 5, changes and change orders. Anything in that category?
Just that, let's see, Wayne is working on some pricing for a number of the HVAC items. He's supposed to be getting me a price for the diffusers, or I said, or just do it and we'll worry about it, but we want to get those replaced. Basically told him the same style, but just one way. Insulating under the attic stair, he's getting me a price for that. Relocating the children's room thermostat, relocating the thermostat in the Henry Bacon room out of direct sunlight or blocking it in some way, and repairing the CO2 monitor in the circulation director's office, which actually would be not a change order. That's more of a warranty issue. And he also said that I should be getting and should have gotten the pricing on the change for the generator. I got to follow up with him on that. I didn't get, I was down this afternoon after getting a shot yesterday, so I didn't catch up with him today.
Chip,
Yep.
my friend who's a heavy duty contractor is going to quote on it. He just had knee surgery, so he's a little disabled, but
Okay.
but he worked out, he had Siemens come to the building and we spent hours there. And Danny's way of doing it is agreeable to Siemens and is probably going to be the right way to do it because CES didn't really include provision for the photovoltaic system.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
their diagram was basically okay, but they didn't isolate the PV. So Danny figured out a way to do that. Siemens is happy with it. We need to keep our Underwriters Labs rating on the electrical system.
Mhm.
And that's like a very critical thing. And so all these guys that were there that day were aware of that. I haven't gotten the quote yet, but we have to make sure we're quoting on the same thing. So when
Yep.
you get the information, would you forward me a one line on what they're doing or forward me whatever you can get?
Yeah, I'll forward you whatever I get. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'll try to see where Danny is on getting us that information so that we can forward it back through so everybody's on
Okay.
the same page.
We ought to, make sure that we're not giving him the information before we get his quote.
Giving who?
If you were saying you were going to let him review it,
I'm
you say
sorry.
did you say you were going to let your guy review
Review what?
the quote from Enterprise?
No.
Okay,
He
good.
wants
I
the
thought that-
same scope.
Yeah.
No, I
okay.
just want,
I
I'm
wanna
not
make
at
sure you-
all, no,
Yep.
I'm not at all worried that Danny won't be the lowest. So
Okay.
I just want to make sure everybody's, on the same page. Whoever does
Understood.
this job has to do it so we don't lose our certification.
Definitely. Yep. Agreed.
Is
So
the-
nothing current on change orders, but stuff coming.
The venting in the post office, is that a change order?
That's a change order that's already approved. It just needs to get done.
Okay,
And it's on their list. I don't know, I've gotten an update from Wayne recently on where they are in their change order work, so I'll follow up with that as well. But that's already been approved.
okay.
Okay, well, if we're done in that category, on to various updates. And I think we may have touched on some of this already with Chip's comments, but Ron, any update from DRA beyond what we've heard?
The only other things I would add is that I'm working with Thornton Tomasetti to get them the change orders that they need for energy. And I'm also pulling together the shop drawings, not shop drawings, as-builts. As-built.
As-built.
As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built. As-built the final as-built for the building. So
Yeah.
we're working to clean up those loose ends.
That's good, because what Wayne gave me, which were supposedly electrical as-built, aren't even close.
I remember you had said that before.
I
But
mean,
and we're
just-
gonna need to. That's gonna be hard to update. You know, the drawings that Ron and everybody are going to be updating are based on what was submitted by the subcontractors. They're not coming out and surveying everything again. And with CE Electric not really available, we're gonna have to do a little brainstorm on how we're going to get those updates, because you know they're only going to be able to update with what they have.
Yeah, it might not be useful information then, but let's see what we have.
Yep.
I mean, we're going through the whole system anyway. We're eliminating one, possibly two load centers that have very little in them. There's just a whole lot of junk that we're cleaning up, that Danny wants to clean up when he's doing this. By getting rid of them, he'll have room to mount the equipment that's required. So anyhow, understood.
Okay. Those are the only two items that I had.
Okay. Thank you for that. Anything in the category furniture, fixtures, and equipment?
It's a broad category. We are waiting for Katie from the sign, no, wrong Katie. But is it Katie too? The sign company. Yeah, that's weird. They're both the sign companies are Katie's. Anyway, we're waiting back from her. They came and measured for the exterior signage, and so we're waiting on that. The generator itself has gone into alarm a couple of times. I think what's happening is when it tests, it goes into alarm. So when we arrive at the building Monday mornings, because it tests over the weekend, the alarm is the interior. There's an alarm behind the circulation desk that's going off, and we just reset it. But they came out, Huntington Power came out, and it is a throttle issue and
Again.
the actuator. So I'm not sure it's working right now.
I thought that they already repaired that once. That was what alarmed initially.
Yes, in the fall. So we'll, I'm not sure that they replaced the throttle at the time in the fall, but we'll get a full reckoning of that. They came out and they had to order a part, so.
That's really unacceptable. I don't know. I know you feel the same. I mean, it's like they shouldn't have to come out 5 times for the same simple repair. Just fix it.
Yeah, and that, you know, it's just a little awkward because they come out, they open it up and they do it, and you know, they don't come in the building, they don't let us know that they were there, there's not a lot of communication when they do come. We literally had to call and say, did you come? And so that's kind of disappointing, but
Yeah, it sure is.
Put a lock on it where they have to come inside and get a key.
it is,
No,
It-
but they have the key though, don't
but
they?
they have the key.
Right.
Yeah. So, we maybe on the surround, we'll have an access door that only we have. That might be helpful. Good idea, Chip. And on the bathroom, I want to update you on the smell in the bathroom. Because after much investigation, Eric did come last week, and when he climbed up, he was trying to convince me that there was something dead in the drop ceiling, and he checked around and it didn't smell in the drop ceiling. And I already knew it doesn't really smell in the drain. It smells like a drain, but it doesn't have a holy hell smell, like what you can smell. But we went out to the attic, and around where the skylight is in the children's room is where the venting from the bathroom is. And it, you have the regular pipe vent, but you also have the exhaust vent. And from the exhaust vent is the dead animal smell. So it seems obvious or likely that an animal got up and into the capped exhaust vent, dropped down, and is somewhere in that horizontal stretch between the exterior and the interior exhaust.
Oh, my goodness.
So it is.
I've never known an animal to smell for that long, though.
True. They don't smell that long.
I don't
It's
know. what
less
to
than a
tell you.
week typically.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't want to know, but I guess I'm gonna know what it is and how many of them there are, and maybe they're cannibalizing. I don't know.
You don't want to think about that.
I really don't, but we had said that there was some noise coming from that area when the heat went on. And they, Chris kept telling me it was a valve in that skylight area, but perhaps that wasn't what it was. Anyway, we just have to get somebody has to undo the venting, either from outside or perhaps more easily from the interior. Eric said he would talk to Chris, but I haven't heard anything back about that. So he wasn't sure that Chris would do it because they don't usually deal with animals,
Right.
dead or alive. So,
Yeah, it's not really a warranty issue.
right. So if anybody has any, I guess I can call it animal control people, and I'm sure they'll give a list of animal people, and that might be the easiest thing. I don't know. We're just concerned about taking apart the vent. But is there anything tricky about the exhaust vent in the bathroom?
No,
There shouldn't be.
no, it's all about how accessible it is. The vent's not a problem. It's if you can get to it.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that's what I'll work on this week.
Well, at the dead animal subcommittee.
Right.
Good luck.
I'm just glad, anyway, I'm glad it wasn't the floor drain, because that was, after 10 gallons of water and gallons of trying to deal with that, it became pretty obvious that wasn't it. So I'm glad at least we're on a different path. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date.
All right. Well, thank you for running that down. So if we're ready to move on, the next item is Sidewalk, and we must be getting close to scheduling, or where are we at?
We are. They are going to start on May 3rd. And they're going to do the screen for the generator at the same time. We want to have a pre-construction meeting on the 22nd, right? That's Thursday, the 22nd of April. So I assume, we'll invite the town. Mark, do you think that somebody from the street project or from DOT is going to want to come to that?
Yeah, I do. The fella's name, he's gonna contact you, Chip. His name is Ryan. He's the resident engineer who works for DOT.
Okay.
He should reach out to you.
All right, does anybody from the committee want to be included in that? Laura? Nobody else? Okay,
Yeah, I'm moving.
right.
It fits absolutely awfully in my schedule.
So most of the materials have been ordered and are scheduled for delivery with no problem. The only thing that they had officially ordered was the pavers that they weren't anticipating any problem, and that was supposed to be taken care of last week. So we should be good to go, ready for the 3rd.
Chip, one of the things that I've noticed, because I walk down through downtown every morning, there's a varying degree of how the pavers downtown have held up.
Okay.
In front of Key Bank, they have not held up well at all. But in front of the stores between like Willoughby's and Walker Loden, they've held up fairly well. And you know, I don't know how many years they've been there, 6 maybe. Graham would probably know, but because I know time goes by and you forget that, you know, it wasn't 3 years ago, it was 6 or 7. I don't know by now, but I just didn't know if the town had any, when they're at that meeting, maybe we could ask them. And I don't know if it's how Key Bank is taking care of.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure
how-
that's it. You know, I know that there was some discussion and debate about whether the town was going to take the responsibility for snow removal or the individual shop owners were going to. And that's the reason. But I believe that the individual shop owners are responsible for the sidewalk. So depending on what product they're using for snow melt and how aggressive they are on, you know, scraping for ice and things like that is most likely what's causing that. Though, you know, it could have been a different batch, but most likely it's because of the winter maintenance.
Yeah, and interestingly, you're supposed to use like a nylon edging on a snow blower or something, which a lot of people don't. And that you'll see the corners chipped off on a lot of them because of that. So unfortunately, unless the town's going to enforce that, it's almost impossible to get when you have individual.
Yeah, they're not going to have somebody out there watching everybody remove their snow, or else they should just remove it themselves.
Right.
Well, they do, since they do our snow removal, it would be good to make sure that they use the
So the town is doing the snow removal on the sidewalks now, not that other company?
correct.
Okay, oh, that's good.
Yep.
That's a better situation then, because they should know what they're supposed to do.
I hope so.
But we'll chat, we'll talk about it.
Public Works, you have more confidence than I do.
So that's the sidewalk,
Okay.
coming shortly, less
Okay.
than a month.
And what's the guess about the duration of the work?
I don't know, I don't want to guess, I mean, I can't imagine it's gonna be more than a couple of weeks, but I don't have a,
Yeah.
I've not been given a schedule yet. We'll go through schedule at that meeting on the 22nd.
I'm really not that curious. I just anticipate that.
Well, you know, the good thing is that it should be done before the summer season starts. That's the you know, important thing about the date and duration is to get that done.
Right.
You know, at that point.
Just anticipating a question from a trustee or two.
Mhm.
It's a very visible thing. Okay, well, that's great. May 3rd. So on to energy related.
Okay, not a whole lot that's different. I finished up the soft starters today so all 3 heat pumps now have modulating valves and heat and soft starters. And I've also got delays set to allow the pumps to ramp up. They're very slow ramping up when we change the pressure on the system by adding a heat pump or subtracting a heat pump or switching from one heat pump to another. So that still may trip out, but I'm very close. I switched it between 2 and 3 5 times today, and it popped the first 2 times and increased the delays, and the last 3 times it seemed fine. So we'll see. This is all so that the multi-chiller, which is running, can regulate what we need to run. So basically it's going to run 1 heat pump, and then if the first stage of the first heat pump needs more help, I'll have it start a second heat pump because it's actually more efficient to run 2 heat pumps with their first stages than it is to run 1 heat pump with both of its stages running. So it's probably 10 or 15% more efficient. So we have all the equipment, we might as well run it that way. And then it'll go back and start the second stage of the first one, and then if it really needs it. But we run for the most part on a single heat pump. So, which is sort of what we expected, or at least what I expected. Where I've gotten some help from Annette and also Adam, and we're all in agreement on turning the economizer system back on. It's been on for about 2 weeks, and I've been looking at it, and it seems like I don't see any rooms that are super hot. Laura, is that pretty much the case? So I think that we're getting there. The economizer will only drag air inside, outside air into the building when the dew point is low enough so that it doesn't increase the humidity inside the building. So we haven't really experienced high humidity, high temp days yet. So we'll have to see what happens over, after the next week or 2 or 3 and watch it. The one thing I wanted to mention tonight, especially for you, Laura and Nicole, is I've really done a lot of thinking about the changeover from summer to winter and winter to summer. And I kind of think we should consider rather seriously having the system be turned from one mode to the other manually. It's super simple on the multi-chiller. I mean, it's a touch screen, it's very intuitive, and it's a simple thing to do. Because otherwise, we're still going to have situations where it switches from summer to winter several times in one day. And that's really a problem because it takes about an hour each way to move the tank temperature. So, you're not really accomplishing much for 2 hours, and that's a quarter of the day. And then it'll get cool and the system will go to heat. So we should monitor that. It's a very, very simple change. I could probably do it myself, but certainly it's a really simple change to go to manual. And so it's something we should consider, I think, doing.
When you say that you would do it, you could do it, you might do it, like how do you see for the future that would be something we can do internally?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant the change to take the BMS control off the multi-chiller and let the multi-chiller go summer to winter. And there's a screen that you can do it on the multi-chiller. You guys would have control over that, not me.
We don't have to call somebody in to do it.
No, not only do you not have to call it, it's completely intuitive.
Okay.
It's a simple thing.
Well, let's try, when we get to that point where the it's probably going to be a humidity thing as much as a temperature thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a complex thing. And I kind of have decided that, and I ran it by Annette, and she finally, I think she's just given up on arguing with me at this point.
Wise woman.
Well, she is a very wise woman, but not for that reason. But anyway, I think we're going to drop temperatures on the coal tank during the summer to see if we can get proper dehumidification without needing reheat. And I probably will have to lower flow rates through the VAVs so that we don't chill a room too quickly. And that's another reason why I want to run the building in the occupied mode all the time. And that, just let the system stabilize and not have to do sudden changes. And if that's the case, we may be able to dehumidify just fine. We have such big capacity and the system is running so well at this point that it may be the smartest way to run it. So we're going to play with that. I've been watching it a lot with the shoulder month and seeing how it's going, and so far so good, I would say.
Okay, well, we can figure out the humidity, but I don't know when that date would be that we switch over, but let's do it together so that you can show us.
Well, I may let it I mean, we could let it do its on its own unless you're comfortable with me making that change. It's really up to, it's something we have several weeks to do, so maybe we'll discuss it next time we meet.
Okay.
See how it goes, see what everybody thinks. You know, automatic is nice because then you don't have to worry about it. There will be vacations and people traveling someday, I think, right? So you don't want to do that. But on the other hand, if it starts going in and out, you know, from one mode to the other several times a day, that's just nutty. And you won't be comfortable in the building because it'll be all screwed up.
Mhm. Yep.
So it really is, it was a dumb design.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the fellow from Choate that I spoke, the facilities guy, he said you know, there are buildings where they do it manually when they only have the single
Right.
tank.
Right. It's just, it's unfortunate. It's something that we can't change. Certainly we can't change easily. We're getting through all the rest of the stuff. System is really performing. I'll show you something in a second. The only thing that's noteworthy to me is the fact that I can't get ALC to stay on the job. They came, I don't know, 10 days ago, I forget, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And Shalik was there and Larry was there. And so we had both of them cornered and they got a lot done. But the list was longer than what they could do. And they said, yeah, we got it now, we'll do it. And I
They still
haven't heard
haven't.
from them since.
I know Chris reached out to him to try to give him a shove.
Yeah, I mean, but this, we need, I get nothing. We used to get a lot of information from the heat pumps through the BMS so I could log on and move things around and do all kinds of stuff. I get nothing. I fly totally blind now because the multi-chiller isn't on the BMS. So there's nothing coming from it and the heat pumps are disconnected from it. So there's nothing coming from them. So it means I have to go there to do anything. And it's unfortunate. Olav is part of the problem. And I believe Shalik, and I think he's totally right. And Adam was there as well, Chip, for part of that.
Mhm.
It does seem like what Olaf said isn't as straightforward as he said. So Shalik fooled around with it for a while and then got frustrated. And so I think that the two of them need to communicate and get the communication between the multi-chiller and the heat pumps and the BMS straightened out. It's not a big deal. The multi-chiller is a wonderful device. I mean, we should have had it from the get-go and it would have saved us a lot of time. But it's a really wonderful device, but it needs to be programmed. And we're paying for that as part of the 40 grand.
Right.
I mean, the modulating valves, they were supposed to wire and do this and that and the other thing, and I did it. So they owe us for that. The least they could do is get the multi-chiller working.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's a totally fair thing to do. So that's my big problem is getting ALC on. Other than that, you know, the system's really performing very well. I have the energy monitor that I can share a screen with. I'm almost ready to put it live. It's not as big on my screen, even though my screen is big, because it just isn't. It'll fill a whole monitor in the cafe. But I just wanted to give you a quick run through. Do we have 2 minutes?
Yeah, before you do that, I just have one question.
Sure.
You had mentioned that there's still a delay in the way the pumps ramp up and down. It just takes long, and so there could still be trips. Do those automatically reset, or every time those trip, somebody has to go in and reset it?
No, they don't. But the multi-chiller will probably, I say probably because it just depends on the timing. But the multi-chiller should re-engage. But I'm doing it now because we don't really need them. I mean, if the heat pump's off for an hour and I have to go reset it, or Laura has to reset, it's just not a big deal. I'm not happy with the fact that one set of pumps ramps up about twice as quickly as the other set, and they're the same, very, very similar. Grundfos pumps, very, same series, Magna 3s. And so I'm not sure why that is, but there's no setting within the pump to change how fast it ramps up or down. So I'm not sure I understand what's going on yet. But
Okay.
because the building side ramps up very quickly, and that's been the side that we had to change. I had to get that pump from Germany. So that would be the one I would think would be marginal, but actually it ramps right up. It's the source side, the ground side. And I don't understand that because those pumps are big and they're fine. So it's hard to figure, but I'm up to 140-second delay from 60. Olaf thought that I might have to go from 60 to 90, but he didn't think I'd have to go more than that. I'm up to 140. It's not a big deal. It just means that the compressor won't start for 2.5 minutes. So it's not a huge deal, but that's where we are with that. I'm ready to show you this unless, does anybody have anything on this, on what's going on with HVAC? No.
Oh.
So you want me to share screen and show you that? Yeah.
Sure.
That's pretty cool, actually. So again, I can't make it any larger, but basically it starts here with an explanation of what the system is and shows that picture. And every 15 seconds, I set it for 15. I don't know if you think that's correct, but every 15 seconds, it'll go on its own to the next slide, which is the PV system and a little bit of an explanation on it and a little bit of an explanation on the solar hot water. Is it readable or is it too small?
Too small.
That's too bad. I wish I could do something. Well, I could read it really quickly. Our PV system consists of 315 solar panels located in 5 separate areas and is capable of producing 115 kilowatts of electricity, which is approximately 140,000 kW annually. This will save the library about $25,000 per year in electric cost, and you'll see that in a second.
Right.
And then it explains the solar hot water as well.
I meant too small from the standpoint of what will be on the screen.
No, you see this little area here that I just made blue, that'll
Right.
fill the whole screen. There won't be any white.
There won't be any picture?
No, I'm saying that the picture, can you see my cursor?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
from here to there and down to here will fill the whole monitor.
I understand. You have a lot of white space. Make the type bigger.
Okay, well, let's get it running first, but it will fill the whole thing. It will be much larger than it is now. This is
Okay.
This is just here. This is live from the library, and we're still tracking 67% of the energy to heat and cool the building coming from the earth. And we've got we're correct now on pounds versus tons. So just in 30 days, we've saved 13,000 pounds of CO2. We've saved $1,500 in electricity. And I'm a little concerned about the acres of trees, as opposed to being acres of trees versus trees. But we'll get there. And for 365 days, you can see it's really within 1%. So the system is incredibly efficient at this point. It's really, I'd hope for at least 60%. We're above 65%. I think it's absolutely remarkable. So the system is good. The equipment is good. We had all those concerns about heat pump 3. Heat pump 3 has worked singly for the last 3 weeks without a burp. And so I really think that was a water flow problem that we've solved. So we should be good on that. Then here's,
Woody, I've got a comment on this.
yeah.
You've got from the earth on the side of the heat pump, and you have the heat pump on the side of the earth.
Yeah, I know.
Reverse both of them.
Yeah, they should be.
And then bring them down so that they're kind of centered. So they're on either side of the circles. They would be much more effective to be separated from the number of days. And the other ones, you basically have a top part, a middle, and then a bottom. Graphically, it would be much better.
Okay. We'll go through that. And then, once it's live, we can really take your suggestions. I'm I'm not spending a lot of time on this. I'm spending time on the equipment, getting all of that right. But this thing is the same thing. I think this is really fun. The solar system, PV system, has only been on since August, last 2 days of August. And so when you look at the last 365, it's 2476. Well, that's not so great. But you got to remember the heat pumps have been on for 365 days, and the solar, came on at the end of August and then went into winter. Look what it's done the last 30 days,
Right.
38%.
Mhm.
This thing is, and I said it's going to save 25. It's going to be 12. It's 12 and 12. So we're going to be right there. The numbers are going to.
In addition, can I make another suggestion?
Oh,
Change
Bill, you know
solar-
what? Take a screenshot and make notes.
It's change solar to yellow, not green. It's sun.
Well, except that it's green energy.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's just distinguish what kind of green energy it is.
Oh, man.
Never mind. I'll just let it be.
Okay. The solar
Really,
hot.
you don't want suggestions.
It's not that I don't want suggestions. It's that this is not the thing I'm working on at the moment, and getting this thing technically correct has been really time consuming. So, and this is way better than what I showed Laura a few months ago. So we made a lot of progress, but, if you send me a screenshot, I'll forward it to the programmers. So this is solar hot water, and then it'll go back. It doesn't go to my data in here. It'll go back and start over again. Does 15 seconds seem right?
Might be a little short, Woody.
Pardon?
There's a lot of information on these pages.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
The programmers thought 30 seconds, and it just seemed too long to me, but I can make it anything you want.
I think the 15 is good. Because it comes back around. It's not that
It
many
comes back
slides.
around. If people are interested, they'll wait.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
just about
fine.
a minute.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
you want
too
it
long, they
fast enough
won't
that
even know
people know that it's changing.
Exactly.
Right.
If it's too
Yeah.
slow, then
Yeah.
everybody just
It's
thinks
not
it's
stuck.
stagnant and doesn't
What?
realize
It's a
to stick
single
around.
screen and nothing more. Yeah, that's a good point. We can play with these things. They're very excited because I think they can sell this to other people. And, I think it's a really good system. It's really working well. We've checked the math, and the numbers coming out of the system are accurate, not the conversions to trees and stuff like that. That's something we do programmatically, but the actual data is quite solid. You've seen this before. This is really what I spend a lot of time with. And since the soft starters, this thing is like so fine. There's never a hiccup. There's
Not
nothing.
here.
Right in here is where I ran heat pump 2, then 3 came back on, then 2 came back on, and no burps, no nothing.
Oh my
And-
gosh, Woody, that's amazing. I mean, I remember the other graphs where it was
I
all
know.
over the place.
I know, and they're quieter and everything is fine, and they should run, if we ever commission the generator, they should run just fine on the generator now, because they don't look like a 20-ton heat pump. They start up like they're a 3 or 4-ton heat pump, and then it takes them 5 seconds to get to the full output, so there's no surge, there's no dramatic jump in consumption when they start. Because an AC motor, when it starts, is stalled, right? It's stopped. So it looks like, a locked rotor motor. So it's going to draw 5 to 7 times what it does when it runs, when it starts. That's why you put a soft starter in. So it starts with the same that it runs. Anyway, so everything really looks good. We don't have any issues here, and then it'll go back to the first. And again, we'll work on getting this all displaying right, but I just thought I'd share it with you.
Looks
Fantastic.
great.
We're getting there. We are, but the energy performance is remarkable. And when Southern Connecticut Gas finally gets around to re-rating our demand, our gas bill will drop to just about nothing. And we'll go from there. And Ron, if you want to ask Annette how she's coming with the change to get off the burner, the natural gas burner entirely, that would be great. She had really, I think she's totally on board with it, but I think also she's working on a lot of other projects. But just to quickly bring you up to date on that, they wanted to run new pipes from the basement to the natural gas boiler because they felt that the radiant heat they couldn't put enough hot water through the 2-inch line that they have. And so I said that could be like $100 grand just to put the piping through the building. It's a built building, not a shell. So we came up with the idea of using a buffer tank up there, and there's plenty of room, and it's cheap, and that way we can use the 2-inch pipe and the existing motors and pumps, and it should not be a big deal at all to totally eliminate the thing. So she was going to look at that and get us something to look at. So, and that's all I've got.
That feels like real progress.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
One chart with it.
I think we're going to have a little bit, we're going to have a little hiccup when we go to air conditioning because everything is different. But I feel comfortable if ALC could just get me the info so I don't have to go over there to make little adjustments. I don't think it'll take long to get that stable. The heating is totally stable at this point.
Great news.
Yeah.
Well done. And I can't wait to help publicize it once it's all locked down and triple checked.
Yep. I agree.
It's something we don't expect from our government, so to speak, and good use of taxpayer money and donors' money. Get that all. That's amazing.
Yeah. Mark just asked me if there's a way to do a combined solar plus geo, like the carbon footprint. That's an interesting thought. I like that idea. Okay.
I
Yeah.
have no idea if it's possible, but
Oh, anything's possible.
Just is it sound? Is it reasonable? Yeah.
Well,
In the tech, but you budget a little,
no, I think it is sound because we know how much power the photovoltaic produces, and we know how much power we take or give to the earth because BTUs and kW relate to each other. BTU hours and kilowatt hours convert. So we get the information from, I'll show you. I will show you.
Thanks, Mark.
for me, you somehow related it to acres of trees for both of them. So there's got to be.
Yeah, we could do a number of different things, but if we go here, you'll notice this is what we're going in and out of the earth with. In kilowatts, you can see that. Peaks around 24 kW. And so we convert it, we get that information from the Onicon system, which would make it very simple to compare or add to what we get from the PV system and show exactly what you're asking about. I think that's a very doable thing. So then the carbon footprint would just be really it would be the net power. You'd want it as a percentage. How would you want that?
Dollars.
Well,
Everybody gets it.
We could do
I
that,
couldn't
but when you
really visualize an acre of
when you
tree.
look at carbon footprint, you don't look at dollars so much.
No, I know.
Because we're already doing that. I would think you might say without the PV and without the geo, the carbon footprint would be this.
Mm-hmm.
And with those two things, the carbon footprint is that.
It's kind of like a carbon avoidance.
That's right. It's exactly what it is. And
Mhm.
I don't think it's that complicated. And I'm going to make a note because I love that idea. That's why we share this stuff, so we can learn, get new ideas about it.
I work on it.
Yeah. Carbon footprint. I love that. And you could see we're getting kilowatt data for that anyway. PV and geo. I love it. Thank you.
Good stuff. Okay, any other questions for Woody or suggestions at this point? Any other reports or burning desires?
Chip, are we going to review
Sure.
what's left or what's not left in budget at some point?
Yes, we can do that. How about next meeting when I'm processing all the other invoices?
Because I don't know, I don't know where we're going to be after the conversion to the generator running the whole building. And it would be nice if there's more, if there's extra dollars, then we could certainly use it to get rid of the natural gas boiler.
Yeah, so we should have, it sounds like we should have those numbers more solid by next meeting. But, it's 2 more weeks. We should have that. So, we'll get the enterprise change orders and invoices processed. We'll get the costs on the utilities, and we should have a pretty good sense of where things are.
Great, terrific.
We'll have a more update on the sidewalk. So a lot of things coming in the next 2 weeks that should give us a good picture.
Terrific. That would really be, that'd be sweet if we could get all that done and call it a day.
Yep.
Well, we still have a couple of sets of minutes to talk about.
We have a couple of, I have something, I think George has something.
George has something too.
Billy, I just wanted to ask about the landscaping. Do we have an opportunity or an obligation to go around and check all the plants to make sure they're all good before we, because it's been almost a year?
No, you've got that warranty period. And if you have issues, you need to identify them. It's hard to say when the warranty period actually began.
Right.
And they're going to be a lot earlier than we think it should be.
I
No,
just
they-
wondered if while you were still here that we could. I
I
don't know
certainly
that there are
can.
that many issues, if any at all.
Well, I found ones earlier and they changed them and fixed them.
Mhm,
The ones along Wall Street,
mhm.
Right.
replaced all them. And they replaced other individual plants around that we identified. Unless there's something that's significant with relatively large, one of the shrubs or one of the trees, I don't think we should attempt that. because
Okay,
all the-
we'll just go, we'll do a walk around then.
Yeah, if the key thing is just significant stuff. All of the bigger pieces in the front of the addition that are in the rocks,
Mhm.
look at them. Yeah, I would just look at the major plant material,
Okay,
and I'll take a walk around and look. So let me know.
thank you.
I need a break from boxes.
Duty calls.
I'm sick of the noise of tape.
Oh. Just give it all away.
Oh, geez, yeah.
How are you doing, George?
All right, all right.
George, you had your hand up a minute ago.
Are you-
On that point that Billy just brought up, I'm also going to be making a move. So I just wanted to kind of bring everybody up to date on that.
Sure.
If anybody's been by Bradley Road recently, you'll see
Yes.
that they're really
There's a
moving
demo
into-
sign.
Yeah, yeah. They had an outhouse in my front yard a few minutes ago, but that moved, luckily. So, although I was tempted to use it, but turn the water off, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, so I'm going to be moving. As I said, they're going to be developing the property here. Jerry Davis and his folks, which they have a great design. It looks like for. And as an aside, I'll say very sorry to hear about Jack Davis passing away several days ago. Which I know he's a great supporter of the library and many other philanthropic. Whatever you want to call it. He was a great philanthropist certainly for the town and everything else. So
Phenomenal.
I'm sure we all wish the family well. But anyway, so I'm going to
Very
be
glad
moving
we
to
got to
Clinton.
give him a tour of the library before the end.
Yeah.
His face shield and absolutely the sunniest attitude of any nonagenarian I've ever come across. So right to the end. It's amazing. So.
Yeah, real fixture in Madison for sure. But anyway, so I'll be moving to Clinton in May, and so I'm getting ready to be angry at Madison because I'll be a Clinton resident, and why I don't know, but I'll do my best. Anyway,
effluents in the river.
Yeah, that's right. And so my last meeting is probably going to be May 10th. I'm going to say.
Now,
So
wait
I'll
a
have to.
Wait a minute. Time out. Time out.
Laura's
That-
told me it doesn't matter because I move.
Yeah, there is that is not required. I have found out through Dave
Oh.
Anderson, because it is an ad hoc committee and not a standing commission.
Uh-huh.
You're not off the hook.
Not so fast.
Uh-oh, George, we
George, no
thought we
more
were exiting.
Well, George, now you might as well stay in Madison.
I know.
Yeah,
There's no
crossing
benefit to moving to
Madison gets you nothing.
I could move in with my father, but there could be no survivors in that case.
One or the other. Both will not emerge.
But anyway, so I talked to Lauren Rhines, I don't know, a week or two ago, and she told me different, but maybe the part about the ad hoc thing wasn't clear at that point.
Yes.
So-
Well, she
Regular
may know, but
committees, you got to
Dave-
be in town.
Dave mentioned it at a meeting because they were talking about the ad hoc affordable housing committee. And he said that non-residents were allowed to be on it because it was ad hoc and not standing.
Okay. Well, I'll double check that then, but I'll be happy to serve if I can, without question. It's I'll finish my little speech anyway because it's too late. But if I can't serve, I'll certainly stay on it, and I'd be proud of it. And that brings me to I'm better at expressing myself in writing for these things, but it's been a project that I've been very proud to be associated with, and I think the town and certainly the library association has gotten a fantastic building largely through everybody on the screen and others efforts, and the committee's been fantastic. Obviously, everybody's had their little niche, it seems like, and specialty that they've been able to bring to this thing, and I've been continually amazed and impressed by the folks that I've been with, and I hope I've held up my end of the bargain. That's always been my goal. But anyway, I'll be happy to get a reevaluation of my ability to serve, and if I can, I'll certainly I'll stick with it till it gets bad, and then I'll get off because I'm a Clinton resident and I can I don't have to show my face in town at that point.
No, Clinton doesn't absolve you of anything.
Although I
Other
will
than
say
being an outlier.
it's so true to form that this is the best committee, commission, board, whatever that I've ever served on. And of course, as we get near to the end, 2 of the 7 are leaving.
No, we're not.
You're leaving town, meaning
True.
we can't rope you into the next big.
No,
project.
no.
But anyway, well, that's very nice. And I hope both of you guys, find a lot of happiness and boards and commissions to serve on. Because
Yeah.
we need people to do that, and it's a dying art, more or less. So
Unfortunately, it is. Where we used to live in California, our friends have been sharing with us, they can't get anyone to do anything, including Little League. They can't get enough Little League coaches, soccer coaches, any commissions. They can't fill them out. Everybody's too important.
Yeah, and it's a very strong volunteerism ethic in this town.
Yeah.
Served.
This really has been an incredibly special committee, incredibly special. I've never served on or been associated with a committee as capable and hardworking and fair and fun as this one. This has been terrific. A great experience.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, that was a nice thought shared all around. So minutes. Do we want to approve those minutes? Did anybody get a chance? One more person get a chance to look at them?
What's your change, Laura? You wanted to change on the second?
Yeah, just the distance to the blasting issue.
Just the half block?
Half block as opposed to half
Okay.
mile.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
Potato.
Should we go ahead and just approve them?
Yes.
Sure. All right. Is there a motion to that
I'll
effect?
I'll make a motion for the February one that I was at.
Okay.
I will second.
Okay. And if there's no further discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
And then the second set of minutes, March 22nd.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Right.
I'll give that to
Yeah,
George.
let George do it, because
I'm gonna let George do
the
that.
two absent.
This is my wisdom.
We need to be together.
George is the second.
That's right.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all signify aye.
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 Very good. So both of those minutes are
Finally.
in the history. They were this year, though. You can be proud of that. All right. That seems to take care of the business on today's agenda. So the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mark moves it.
Second.
Woody
Thanks,
seconds. All right.
Night all.
Good night.
Take care.
Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Take
Meeting-
care.
Right.
Meeting ends at 6:38, almost exactly 1 hour.
Thanks, Henry.